Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Eldritch Library. I am Shog, your local Master Sea Slug. Today, we are playing Fabula Ultima with friends. Friends, indeed. Let's go say hi to those friends.
No.
Hello, friends. How are friends doing?
Hello, everyone.
They're doing good.
Hey. It's been a crazy time. How is everyone on stream? I can't watch chat tonight, so you better be on your best behavior.
That's all I'll say.
No, okay.
Best behavior?
I mean, I know you're never going to behave.
Nope, I'm a brat.
Yes.
Just trying to call me.
So, yeah, welcome everyone.
Welcome.
We are going to be starting a game. This will be normally done on Sunday nights, but we're doing our Friday night session 0 tonight. So expect things to be kind of casual, kind of like shooting the shit and a little bit of scuff, just because this is going to be our first time going into this system. This is Fabula Ultima. It is the TTJRPG. If you have not seen this before, chat, then the best way I can explain it is that it is a 16-bit, 32-bit era RPG in tabletop form. And it is, much like Dungeons & Dragons, has a GM that guides players through the story. But there's a lot more that the players are able to do to manipulate the story in this game. So I don't have to make everything, which is really appealing.
That's really cool, though.
So yeah, this is our first session. I mean, session 0. So why don't we go through and introduce ourselves? I'll go first. My name is Rook. I often go by Elixir, but I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and start using the Rook name across my platforms. So, hello everyone. I am Rook. I am a longtime GM DM. I've been looking forward to specifically this kind of game for the last 5 years. I have been trying to force D&D and Pathfinder to be this game without knowing it. So I am exceptionally excited to run it.
Me too, it sounds crazy.
So whoever would like to introduce themselves next.
I guess I'll go. Hey, everyone. I'm Shog. I'm your local Master Sea Slug, and I am the host for the game, and I will be a player in this game. I have been playing for, I guess, close to 5 years now, TTRPGs, so that's a thing. I have no idea what I'm playing. I have no idea what I'm getting into. I'm probably going to cry because my brain can't hold this many rules. Right now I have D&D in my brain, Pathfinder, a little bit of Cthulhu in this game, and I'm probably going to cry. But yeah, that's about it.
Yay!
Okay. Yeah. I guess we'll just go down the line. So, hi, I'm Biako, formerly known as McOwner. I am in the middle of a rebrand right now, so, but yeah, I've been playing tabletop for a while now. Started with D&D 3.5. Played that for a bit, but then took a bit of a break. Came back when 5 was 5th edition was really taking off. Then jumped ship and went on to Pathfinder. And been playing Pathfinder since then. But I'm also excited for this. This sounds like Fabula sounds like a great time. I want to see where it goes.
Meow.
Good timing, good timing.
I guess that would be me next. Hi,
Sure.
I am Corset. I am a longtime player. I DM'd once or twice, but it's really I get super nervous trying to plan everything and stuff. So like I think this system is going to be really unique and special because of the fact that the players have so much control on what goes on and how to manipulate the story without changing the story or contradicting somebody, or it's like it's really a cool system and I'm excited to play it.
I'm like a boss. Most people call me boss. I started playing TTRPGs 4 years ago. I've played under Shog. Shortly after that, I played under Elixir. Or, name?
Rook.
Rook. And, I went on a hiatus from TTRPGs about a year and a half ago, so this is gonna be my first one in a year and a half, so we'll see what's going on.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I'm Cloud Drexy, and I run a lot of games. Professional GM. I've done a little bit of Fabula, only a couple playtest sessions, but very much looking forward to playing.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I haven't run it yet. I'm going to run it, and we're going to run this experiment together. So, if I do something extremely erroneous, let me know. But I think I have a pretty good handle on things.
I've been reviewing the the book over the course of the week.
So have I. It has been really, really interesting. Core got to see me get this, like actually find the news about this book, game, get the book, start reading it, and see me like devolve in excitement over the course of like 3 days.
Yeah, it was weird. I'd be sitting here in the other room and all of a sudden I'd hear him like cackling. And I would be
Sure.
like, what? And so I'd go see what was going on. And he'd be so excited and he was showing me all this stuff. And it was fantastic. It was a treat to watch.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and bring us into what we'll be looking at basically all night long, which is going to be our session 0 screen.
Oh, this is
So I
familiar.
got a little bit of a yeah. So I get no. This is a different map. This is a new map.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah, it ended up being a little bit similar, but it is a new map.
I love it. It's pretty.
Yeah.
So I have a little bit of a outline here on the right. But this map, there's land masses, but outside of that is going to be blank because part of our game starting today will be you guys helping me make the world.
Cool.
Okay,
before we-
so we only have 3 people in the game, it looks like.
What? Oh yeah, there is. I see Biako, Corset, and Shog.
Oh, you have to press the players button. It
Oh,
shrinks
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, everyone's here. Okay, good. Good.
Okay.
I'll just keep that open. Okay, so I'm going to go into a little bit of a spiel. You guys just stop me if you want to ask questions, but I'm going to go into the basics of what makes Fabula Ultima special. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Fabula Ultima is a TTRPG built to simulate the experience of playing a JRPG with your friends. Unlike traditional TTRPGs like Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder, Fabula Ultima is built to tell a story focusing on heroic action, powerful bonds, larger-than-life villains, and a heroic destiny. The world where our story takes place is not predetermined. Its cities, kingdoms, deities, and cultures are something that we will all make together tonight. It's not necessary to create all of the world during the creation. We don't need to know every detail. We don't need to know every city. These can be filled in as we play the game with the different powers that each player is able to invoke. Instead, there are 8 pillars that guide the idea of what a Fabula Ultima game is, based on traditional JRPG storytelling. One moment, I'm pulling those up because I am super scatterbrained. Everything's everywhere. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not at my normal computer. There we go. Okay, So the 8 pillars start with the ancient ruins and harsh lands. No matter what game we play, one of the truths is that there are old ruins from maybe kingdoms and nations that exist today or exist previously that allow for exploration as well as whatever darkness lies within them. Another truth, another pillar, is that the world is in peril, whether that is villages, castles, and city-states warring against each other or trying to defend themselves against monsters and brigands. There will always be a villain. A villain is a powerful antagonist NPC that is going to be larger than life. When you think of JRPGs, you often think of characters like Sephiroth or Kefka. That's what a villain is here. So expect something intense when they do show up. There are going to be clashing communities. So just like I mentioned with the warring nations, there's conflict not just between nations, but also the concepts of magic and science, or the different communities within each city as they try and navigate the world around them. Everything has a soul. All forms of matter, whether it's creatures, the earth, the sky, the sun, the stars, are part of a vast spiritual magical energy, and it all consists of a soul in one shape or another. Magic and technology are constant, and they represent 2 different ways of studying and manipulating reality. One, about the tangible nature of matter, the other, the souls that dwell within the matter. And those 2 sides make up what technology and magic are, whether one is intruding on the other or not, or a balance. That's something we will figure out. You guys are the protagonists. You are fully fledged heroes, extraordinary individuals that possess unique abilities, and you will shape the fate of the world. This isn't like going into a D&D game or a Pathfinder game to where you're kind of climbing up from the ranks of something small. Fabula has a prologue system built into it that's a little like what we did with our Choose Your Own Adventure system with 7 Dooms. That gives a basic idea of where you started from. And once the game starts, you are stepping into that heroic role already. And finally, there's mystery. The game itself is built upon discovery, whether that is finding new mysteries or ancient powers, or together discovering and finding a new nation, or unraveling each other's stories. It is a system built on the bonds you have with one another, but also that you have with the world itself.
Cool.
Any questions?
No.
Cool.
No.
You doing okay over there, boss?
I already passed out.
I lose him
Damn.
already? Yep, that's what I thought.
Oh no, I'm muted. Shit. I was wondering why you guys couldn't hear me.
Aw.
The stupid fucking mic has like if you tap it in the wrong spot, it just mutes.
Did you get an Elgato?
Yep.
No,
Yeah, that'll...
I got something off
Um,
Amazon.
Gotcha. So, did you have any questions then, boss?
No, I was just thinking how I could be the funny side character.
You know, what was the tongue character in 9, Shog?
A what?
Fiona? The connoisseur character in Final Fantasy 9 that had the big fork and the like,
Kenna.
really long tongue.
Kenna.
Kenna.
Yeah, every time you need one. So,
I was
I
confused
was
what a
thinking of-
tongue character was. I was like, the fuck?
I was thinking like Donkey from Shrek.
There you go.
that's fair. I mean, Mog exists. Kate Sith exists. Like, there's all these characters that are very comedic. You're gonna fit in perfectly fine. So there are a few different ways. There are a few different key differences between how Fabula works and how other RPGs work. A big one is dice. The D20 is the most important dice in D&D and Pathfinder, but in Fabula Ultima, we will hardly use it, if at all. Instead, we will be using the D6 to the D12 as the most commonly used dice, as they're used in all character and NPC checks. Checks are done by taking a dice roll comprised by 2 dice that are determined by your attributes. Each check is always made up of 2 dice, even if there's only 1 attribute, so you'd roll that attribute twice. So if you're just doing something that would be a might/strength check, like lifting something up, you would roll strength twice and combine the result. Success is determined from the combined value of the dice is greater than the difficulty of the roll. And if the roll would result in damage, so like if you're attacking something, the highest value of the dice rolled is what you would use for damage. So there's only ever, when you attack something, 1 roll.
Cool.
There are crits and there are fumbles. Fumbles will happen if you roll snake eyes. You roll 2 ones, that is considered a fumble. A crit is when you roll doubles on 6 or higher. So double 6s through double 12s will all be crits.
Cool.
Cool so far?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Characters are made up of a collage of classes, traits, attributes, quirks, and equipment. Each gives another layer of customization to create a one-of-a-kind character and personality. Each character is made up of 3 traits. These traits are the sum of the tropes of your character and their personality, and are not set in stone. They can change depending on how the story develops. They are important because I'll explain the actual mechanic later, but there's something called Fabula points that you can use, that you can spend, and if you can say that a trait of your character matters in this moment, you get to spend that to reroll. You can reroll 1 or both of your dice. So
Cool.
the traits are identity, which is a short sentence like 2 to 4 words that sums up your character concept, such as Sky Pirate or Merchant Queen. Your theme, which is a single descriptive word that drives your character forward, such as anger, or justice, or ambition. And finally, your origin, which is where you come from, your character's hometown or homeland. If something happens in the game that you're involved in and it can be related back to those traits, then you would be free to invoke it, spend a Fabula point, and re-roll that dice. It gives you that ability to have advantage, but having more control over it.
Mm-hmm.
There are 4 attributes that make up your character. They are abstract representations of your aptitudes. Each is represented by a die size that is used during your checks. So depending on your actions that you decide, I will ask you to roll either 1 attribute twice or 2 attributes once to determine the outcome of a check. Their stats are dexterity, which is going to be your precision, coordination, finesse, and reflexes. As far as mechanically, it's used to defend attacks when you don't wear heavy armor, when you're crafting items, or using light weapons or ranged weapons. So it's very similar to what it would be in D&D and Pathfinder. There is insight, which this is very much similar to perception, but it is a key stat in Fabula. It is for your observation, understanding, and reasoning. It's important during investigating monsters, trying to see what their weaknesses are, because that is an action that is built into the game, is investigating your enemies to figure out how to approach them best, casting spells, or resisting magic. So insight is equivalent of intelligence and wisdom put together. There is might, which is going to be your strength and fortitude. So this would be like your strength and con in 1 stat. All heavy weapons use might, and your hit points come from might. And finally, there's willpower, which is your determination, charisma, and discipline. So this is kind of a combination of wisdom and charisma. You use it in diplomacy and persuasion, but it also determines your maximum magic points. Every magic spell you cast uses your magic points. Part of your personality goes into how well your magic works.
Huh.
And finally, the most important part of your characters, the bonds. Bonds are a source of power. By using Fabula points, you may draw from your bond and apply a blanket bonus to whatever you just rolled. It's made up from a level from 1 to 3, depending on how powerful that bond is. But important thing is that bonds are both positive and negative. So, for an example, if you are doing something with your childhood best friend and you're trying to do something to protect them, that desire would allow you to be more adept in that situation. You'd have a better result than you normally would because you have a personal stake in what's happening. On the flip side, if you are being confronted by a soldier from the empire that raised your kingdom, you have a negative feeling towards them, but you still get power from it. So whether it's positive or it's negative, bonds will always give you power.
That's pretty cool.
And they're not limited to characters. You can have a bond with people, you can have a bond with a nation, you can have a bond with an organization, a religion, or just ideals. It is just something that your character has an active investment in with the story.
Cool.
Yeah. Let me see here. And I was started explaining them earlier. There's Fabula points, which they are the representation of your fate and destiny and your ability to change it. So every character starts with 3. You get 3 Fabula points when the game starts with character creation. They are incredibly powerful because they can do many things, but there's 4 most common ways, which is you can alter the story. So at any time, you can spend a Fabula point to alter an existing story element or scene by adding a new element without contradicting, what has already been described. If I say there are guards approaching that you're hiding from and I need you guys to roll stealth checks, if Corset wants to spend a Fabula point to say, wait, one of those guards people is my best friend from childhood, that doesn't contradict what I've already done. It just adds a new layer to it. So she would be free to do that. So you guys have active agency about what's happening in the story. It's your ability to alter fate.
Cool.
As I said before, you can use one to invoke your bonds, so you can add your bond strength to a check. You can invoke a trait, which allows you to reroll one or both of your dice during a check. And finally, some skills require Fabula points because they are incredibly powerful. They are the equivalent of a limit break. So again, taking fate into your own hand. But I get to play with this too.
Mm-hmm.
As a GM, I get something called Ultima points. When a villain exists in one of 3 categories, either a minor, major, or supreme. I can let you know what these categories are when they appear, or I can keep them secret, but villains start with a pool of Ultima points that represents their will to shape the world in their image. A key difference, though, is that a villain can never gain more Ultima points, with one exception. But a minor villain has 5 Ultima points, a major has 10, and supreme has 15. While a villain has I'm sorry?
I said wow.
Okay. While a villain has Ultima points, they cannot be defeated or killed. Instead, a villain may spend a point to safely leave a scene because they're spending their willpower to escape and lick their wounds and come back again. Because again, at that point, since they still have more Ultima points, they still have a strong will to shape the world in their image. They can also invoke their own traits to let them reroll. And they can use Ultima points to remove status effects and get magic back. But once a villain has used up all their Ultima points, their will is broken. When they are defeated, it's like any other NPC. But there are rare occasions of villains' ambitions are truly remarkable, and they escalate. Villains who escalate transform, growing one rank larger. Minor becomes major, major becomes supreme. And this transformed villain is treated as a brand new villain. They get all of their Ultima points back up to their maximum.
Ooh.
But conflict is part of fate. When a villain is a part of a scene, whether that is just me talking about what may be happening in another part of the world, or you actually see the villain show up, everyone immediately gets a Fabula point. Anytime the villain shows up, you get a Fabula point. So, yes, villains are powerful. They are imposing. But part of that heroic drive from JRPGs that this game tries to inhabit is that drive to be able to stop them. That even in the face of something extremely powerful and imposing, you rise to that challenge. And that's the basics. That is the basic construction of what makes Fabula Ultima different than other JRPGs or other tabletop RPGs.
Huh.
Intriguing.
It's a very fascinating thing. There are some interesting things with combat that is different. One of the supplement rules that I'm going to be implementing is how initiative works, which is going to be, you guys always go first. Unless there's a villain, and the villain gets to go first. So anytime the villain is not in combat, you guys go first. But an important part of Fabula's initiative and how it works in combat is that it's always in turn. So, second. It's always in turn. So you get to go one turn, and then the bad guys go a turn. Then you get to go a turn, and the bad guys go a turn. And you guys are freely able to decide who goes in what order. So when you get into conflict, you guys decide what happens first. If Shog wants to play defensive and cover somebody, she is able to. If Boss wants to run ahead and punch somebody in the face, he's able to. Whoever decides they want to go first, and then we move from there. Once everyone has taken a turn, we reset the round and we go back to the top. Erda has changed that cloud. There is a supplemental additional rule that says that just to make it easier on people, because initiative is kind of a... Group checks are a little funky. One of the Erdas is you have the option to just allow always the heroes to go first unless the villain's there. Yeah, it just makes things a lot easier.
Nice.
Yeah. Another thing is that you only ever get to do one thing on your turn. But you don't have to worry about movement. Movement isn't a thing in a traditional JRPG. You just perform an action. It can mean that, light armor people like mages are more vulnerable, but people are able to guard and cover and take damage for you. Working as a team and making sure that everyone's got each other's backs is the best way to perform in this world. So if you have someone that wants to build a tank character, then they can guard and cover and take the damage for you that a mage might take. They might even be built to where they get to counterattack on it. There's a lot of customization that goes into the classes. Finally, Zenti is the Marnie in Fabula Ultima. And an important part of that is how inventories work. So inventories are abstract. If it's sensible that an adventurer would have a certain item, you just have it. You don't have to be worrying about micromanaging if you have a tent or a sleeping bag, or if a roguish character has lockpicks. Same with ammo. You don't have to worry about your ammo checks. You don't have to worry about how many bolts you have for a crossbow. Just, it's assumed to have it because that's how it is in most games. Now, that doesn't mean that a barbarian-like character can just have lockpicks on them. It doesn't make sense because they don't have that class. Rogues can have lockpicks. A barbarian would have to spend things for it, which is our inventory points. Inventory points are the abstract concept of what you have available to you at any one time. Everyone starts with 6 unless you've got a class that gives you more than that. At any time, you can say, I spend 3 of my inventory points and I pull out an elixir. And you get to just, one creature of your choice gets 50 magic, just instantly. No, nothing about it. So, so it's more of a, what?
Oh, I was just like, I can pull a mini rook out of my pocket.
It's probably going to require you to go into the epic level inventor or something to have that many IP. But yeah, and then you're able to you spend 10 Zenti for 1 IP whenever you're able to make camp or in a place that would have gear for you. It's pretty straightforward. Your personal equipment is always 1 piece of armor, main hand, offhand item, and an accessory. So even the equipment system is pretty straightforward. Again, it's very traditional 16-bit RPG-like. So, with that all being said, how y'all feeling? I know it's been a lot to just throw at you. So if you have questions, please ask.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think just going into stuff in more detail on that one, like once we get to the rules and everything. But this, honestly, just compared to like other TTRPGs I played, like this sounds like a trip, man.
It is a total trip. So basically the what you can spend on inventory stuff for like in combat or normal things is very straightforward. There's only like 5 major options that you'd be like looking at. So there's some other ones in different supplements and stuff, but there's the elixir, which gives MP. There's a remedy that gives HP. There's a tonic that removes all status effects from a single person. Again, the Erida Cloud, they changed it because it's really hard to justify spending the IP on just removing a single status effect. So they've made it to where a tonic now recovers all status effects.
Interesting.
An elemental shard, which you get to make it to where 1 creature of your choice suffers 10 damage of your choice between air, lightning, earth, fire, or ice. So it's one of the consumable items that you can just burst and it just shoots lightning at somebody. And finally, a tent. So where you can camp out in the wilderness safely. Again, very traditional JRPG ideas.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Luckily, they're not single use.
Very true. Very, very true. But also they are, because once you spend the 4 IP, it's gone. You would have to reinvest it back in time the next time you're in town.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
But
so
you'd only
it
have
will
to
be
buy
gone.
a tent once?
No, you'd have to. So you refill your IP,
Uh-huh.
and then you would spend it on a magic tent, is what it's called. So this would be like something that's magically able to protect you, versus just a normal tent which you would commonly have.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So if everyone is comfortable, if no one has any other additional questions, or if chat has any questions, please let me know. And if not,
No, never
Please
mind.
go ahead.
I don't remember what it was.
Okay. Then let's jump into making this world together. Everyone should have the ability to use drawing tools. Please let me know if you don't. But I did set up permissions for drawing tools to be available to players.
I should not have
It'll
been
be-
given this ability.
It's okay. Just don't do something that would get Shog banned.
Oh no, not that.
Okay.
You're just gonna see like Family Guy show up in the corner.
Yeah. Thank you.
There
Who's
you go.
that?
Me.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you're the head. So yeah, so you guys will be able to do some creation, some drawing in the game. So you're going to be labeling things, giving you a basic idea of how this all works. Yeah, go and write.
I delete.
How do you delete? It's the at the top. There's a crosshair, and then you just select the drawing and hit delete. Cool. So the very first thing that we need to ask, and Shog, are we getting close to ad break yet, or are we good?
Let me look.
Yeah,
18 minutes.
that's enough time for us to do this first part.
Okay.
So the first thing we're gonna do is decide the world's theme. When it comes to Fabula Ultima, there's 3 basic types, which is natural fantasy, high fantasy, and techno fantasy. If you'd like, I can give a brief rundown of each.
Please. Oh, there's a dragon! We're calling that dragon's head. I'm just saying, right now. Already calling it.
Yes.
I'm writing that down right now.
It actually looks like a
so-
wyvern. Like, if you look, the wings and everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was very excited when I saw this map, and I was like, okay, we're gonna use this map.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like little neat things, like looking at how this is constructed, that could be really cool for us to explore. But we'll start with high fantasy. So high fantasy is traditional JRPG style. This is your Final Fantasies, and the first 9 basically. So there's great castles with crystal spires, there's fleets of airships, there's vast stretches of enchanted forests and sprawling ruins with magical golems and artifacts, and it's the classic JRPG setting. They usually revolve around themes such as hope and friendship and fighting together against supernatural and world-ending threats. Let's see, what do I have listed next? We have natural fantasy next. Okay, so natural fantasy is small scale. This is your rune factories. This is your Stardew Valleys. This is small villages slumbering peacefully within a varied ecosystem, trying to coexist with beasts and elemental forces, trying to help the town prosper. It's about community and harmony and tragedy that happens when something tries to twist that. Finally, there's techno fantasy, which techno fantasy is more of a modern Final Fantasy feeling. This is going to be, or your Star Oceans. These are your high-tech, wildly different worlds that are where technology is kind of consuming magic in a way, where there's a lot of exploitation of natural resources. There are darker and more serious tones, caution about scientific experimentation, the abuse of power from the wealthy. These are desperate times breeding desperate heroes. Because even when we're looking at games like Star Ocean, when we're looking at anyone that's coming from outside of a fantasy world, it's a rough time. So, techno fantasy is where that kind of story lies. And my question to all of you is, which of these resonates? Which do you guys feel like sounds good?
I like high fantasy personally.
Me too.
Okay.
Yeah, I think like I'm kind of leaning towards that.
I like high fantasy, but I think my favorite tropes are like when you have high fantasy and then you have some parts of the world, oftentimes, where, the more villainous nations has a bit of techno fantasy.
Gotcha. So like, if we're looking at
Magitech?
Final Fantasy,
Like Magitech?
yeah. So like kind of like Final Fantasy VI, where we have a lot of like traditional fantasy kingdoms, especially like Doma and Figaro. But then there's the Gestalt Empire in the distance, this looming technological threat. Something like that?
Yeah.
Cool. And boss, how you feeling?
Pretty good.
Which theme sounds good to you?
I agreed with everyone else. I like the
High fantasy. Okay.
High
High
fantasy,
fantasy
yeah.
it is. Sweet. All right. So yeah, that takes care of the first part of world creation. And I could use a break from my voice. I could use a drink. So if we want to do ad break whenever you'd like, Shog.
Yeah, we can do that now.
Okay, great.
Cool.
So we will be back, and we'll do a 5-minute break, and we'll be back to get the rest of the creation done.
Okay, we're back.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hello.
Hope everyone had a break and got some drink and rested their voice if need be. If everyone's ready, we can get into world creation.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Just one moment to pull all this up. I think Cloud had given their opinion on how they would like technology to be played in the game, and I will open up with that. So, how do you guys feel about how the current state of magic and technology are in the world?
Yeah, like I know you said like we like the high fantasy stuff, but I think I do like that kind of smaller aspect to have like the technology like in the world as well.
Can I say for tech, I like to keep it kind of steampunk, Final Fantasy 9-esque, rather than like Final Fantasy 7.
Oh, okay.
I like that idea.
Steampunk would be nice. I have so
Yeah.
many ideas for that.
Okay, I like that. That's a great way to launch things off. So a steampunk-oriented technology for the world. So let me put tech. So tech. Steampunk-like. How about magic? Is magic a spiritual thing, or is it more of like a form of science?
Hmm.
I'm with the science team.
I kind of prefer the dynamic of, like, anime high fantasy magic.
Okay.
I cast
Like Magic
Fireball.
Girl styles?
I cast Fireball, traditional high
Ah,
magic.
gotcha.
Gotcha.
So it's like just like it's the mystical energy around stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like Aether?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Mana.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to what Boss said, Boss, you said you would like it to where like there is some science in, treating
no,
magic
I was
as a bit
thinking
of
of
science.
memes.
Oh, okay. Like I was literally just gonna come back and look at it because like the question becomes in my head is how, if we're looking at more of a brass steampunk time, does that mean harnessing magic elementals is how those technologies work? So like if you're wanting to have like a steam powered airship, do you have some kind of fire crystal or elemental in it powering it?
Yes.
That's an interesting way, but like if we have like a steampunk train, and instead of like having coal in like a massive like thing in the back, we could just throw a fire crystal in there.
Yeah.
Is that pretty much what you just said?
Yeah, no, that's great because yeah. So I think that does to maybe get some ideas bowling in you guys' heads about how you're kind of thinking about the world and what you want to like make in it. What would that mean against the people that are more spiritual, seeing their spiritual magic being used in an industrial way? That might be something to consider when you're looking at kingdoms and stuff.
Sucks for
Yeah, 'cause
them.
I think
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that'd be like, the one side is kind of working with the spirits and everything, and trying to do it more natural, and then the others are basically taking them, capturing them, and like just harnessing their energy.
Does it actually have to be, sentient stuff that we're like
No.
murdering? Let's not.
No.
Murder.
The villains can do that all they fucking want. But
I mean, that's what I was
Yeah.
kind of alluding to.
If that I guess if we do use that idea, it could be that, more the acceptable way maybe to go about magic then is to, form a bit of a bond with the elementals then. Basically get permission to use their power. As opposed to using it without their permission and capturing elementals.
Like Hal's moving castle with Calcifer.
It's very possible there is the Arcanist class in the game that would allow you to use summon abilities, so like actually summoning those spirits to, basically meld with and channel their magic, or Geologist who is like an Earthmancer who is able to use the elements around them. So like the concept of using that mechanically is in game. It just matters, do you guys feel like you want to cement that singular style? Or would that be more of a nation or kingdom that is more oriented towards that? And maybe other nations have their own individual ways.
I guess the way I was talking about is maybe like, what is the most base form of magic kind of thing? What is the most basic? This is like, and that's like, if it's elementals, then that arcanism might be the most basic form, and other types of magic might be stemming off of that somehow. But that's how I was thinking about it, but it may not be how everybody else was.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what other people's thoughts are. There's no wrong answers here. This is a discussion, not like shooting anybody's ideas down or anything. So like, feel free to talk freely, people.
I kind of like the idea of like the crystals you like it's steampunk, but maybe they're using magical elements in their tech.
Yeah.
Maybe like with the magical crystals, there's something like you mine up and find like that.
Yeah, like it has to have a fuel source.
And like the mana inside of the crystal depletes over time.
Yeah.
So in that case, what I'm imagining, and please let me know if this is on track or not, or if you guys have other thoughts on it. But so what I'm hearing and what I'm kind of picturing is a world where there are like divine-like elementals that are kind of like the magical force of elements in the world, but just because they are like the source, it is still, that magic is still saturated in the world and can show up and crystallize or can be tapped into without like direct conversation. But direct conversation would be like the most primal form of magic.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me write that down real quick. Because that I think leads into some good villainous stuff as well. Great. That's, unless anybody has anything else they want to add, or they've got some ideas, then we will be heading into the next step.
So are we, because of one of the pillars, does that mean that these elementals have souls?
Yes, they are existing things. They are not just mindless like abstracts. They are a powerful source of tied to souls. Yeah, they would be living. They would have souls.
Okay.
Okay. If no one has anything else to say, we will start looking at the kingdoms, and we're going to start with Dragon's Head. So, Shog, give me something brief of what you imagine Dragon's Head to be like.
Ishgard.
Okay, Ishgard.
Yeah, that
Is
French
it like-
kind of architecture and traditional knights and whatnot.
Okay.
Their coat of arms
Are
is
there
a dragon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Their coat of arms
So
are
dragons.
dragons.
Yeah. COA dragons. Okay.
Maybe not
Great.
necessarily immediately antagonistic towards dragons, considering they've taken their name.
Yes. Okay.
More accepting of them. Yeah.
So more symbiotic with dragons.
Yeah, they kind of see them as guardian type. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So yeah, that's the first kingdom done. So who else has got some ideas of places in this world? And make sure to, when you make something, that you write it on the map and tell me where that would be.
I'm like in this area right here, but I don't know a name for it.
Okay. I mean, if anybody's got ideas, feel free to throw some ideas in too.
It looks like a chicken giving the finger.
Fantastic.
What? Of course it's
I see it now.
I don't see that anywhere. What?
I
In the
immediately
circle,
think
it-
of Vikings and stuff.
Vikings.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
looking
thinking
at it and I see
Pirates.
rabbit.
I shall call it Michigan.
Rabbit.
You can call it Michigan. Okay.
You got to give me a better fantasy name than Michigan. But for
Generators here.
Dragon.
Generators, here I come. We're giving me.
What if it was spelled weird? Like just Michigan spelled weird.
we already had Cincinnati.
Oh God! Don't remind me of that shit.
Yeah, you be aware of what people are going to warp it into. Oh, let's spell it weird. Well, there's going to be some craziness. So, if you really want it to be Michigan, we'll make it Michigan, but it's probably going to get weird.
Arcane Timberland.
Arcane Timberland. I like that. That's good. So, if it's a Timberland, is there a lot of culture or cities up there, or is this more of like kind of a primal society, like almost tribe situation?
Just thinking, like seeing how we're steampunk. I thought this would be more of like a big city with like a bunch of trees throughout, and like have like small like steam trains going all through it.
So like steampunk London.
Yes.
London doesn't.
Okay, so we have France and we have Britain so far. Okay, so are they the center of steampunk in the world, or are they just one of the nations that have like adapted it?
I shall be the big one. I'm gonna be the main steampunk in the world.
Okay.
Main steampunk. Okay.
I'll be honest, this kind of like looks like a T-Rex yelling.
Oh, I see that.
Okay, that I see at least, yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to add to it? Any other quirks or thoughts you have? See, that's where I got the bunny head was it the two ears right there?
Oh, I
And, like,
see that.
That's
too.
like a Bira face.
Oh, I see that.
And now it's just Pikachu.
More like Mimikyu.
Temporary
It's
lane.
Shit. It's Clefairy.
Okay.
Fuck.
Sweet. Okay. So yeah, is there anything else you want to add to that, boss, or do you feel pretty comfortable with what you've described?
I'm happy with what I have.
Sweet. Who's next?
Okay. I don't know. I don't know. My head's going back to this, especially from our other games when we made the world. Let me see. Let me see. Like I'm thinking
You want the Smup corgis
this
back?
area. No.
Okay.
No. I'm thinking like this area, and like having the orc tribes here, and like having like on the deserts and the plateaus and everything. Like yeah, like I just keep on going back to that, like in this area.
Okay, so are they more tribal then? Are they warlike, or are they more like trying to build nations, or like are they like the idea of the free tribes you had before?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, what would you like to name that area?
Let me see. Yeah, it might take a bit.
No problem. If you want, we can always come back. I'll mark it down as the orc free tribes, and we can come back to that. In the meantime,
Yeah.
just tell me about it. Tell me a little about it.
Like I mean, yeah, like it's a hot desert like area, but then they have the high plateaus and everything where a lot of the tribes would like create their like encampments and everything, and they're not like necessarily like super warlike. I mean, they do a lot of battles and everything, but it's not like they are like necessarily like conquerors or anything. They just kind of do that, just kind of keep their areas safe, and just because of like the harsh environment, it's just kind of how they were.
Okay, so it's a harsh environment. Okay.
Mhm.
Are like monsters different there?
I would think so. They would have to do, probably develop some of the resistances to like just the kind of like the desert heat and stuff there, like just the elements there.
Okay. So harsh environment and monsters, fire type. Awesome. Okay.
And I mean, we can go kind of classic, like old school, like naming. Just like be like this the big fire canyon.
Okay. Sweet. All right, I've got that all written down. If there's anything else you want to add to it, or is that like a good like general concept? Because again, you can always add more details as we're playing the game.
Yeah, I think that's good for right now. If I think of anything, I'll let you know. But I think that's good for right now.
Cool. Who's up next?
Real quick, I changed the name because I realized that my name was a boot company.
Mm-hmm.
I changed it to Mechanica instead of Timberland.
Mechanica works. Awesome. And again,
spell
like
that?
just
Wait, so you asked how do I spell it?
Yeah.
I have it typed up on the world map.
Oh, why can't I see it?
Can you not see it?
no. Oh, now it's Arcane Mechanica. I see it now. It's updated.
Okay.
You're good. So, okay then. Who's next?
I guess I can go.
Okay, tell me.
So I'm trying to decide between two areas. Trying to
Okay.
decide between down here Oh, here, hold on. Pencil. Draw. I'm trying to decide between down here
Mhm.
or up here.
Okay.
Because I'm not necessarily naming the place that I'm from.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys like this is just making up nations and stuff. It doesn't have to be where your character is from. Somebody else might be saying something that's really inspiring you, and you're gonna want to jump into that instead. Like this
Yeah.
is just the world.
Okay. So I'm gonna do this area up here.
Okay.
It is home to coastal elves.
Okay. Give me a name for the city or the region.
That I haven't come up with yet. But okay, coastal elves is what I'm gonna write down for now. But
Okay.
like they're fishermen, they're divers, they're like very, very coastal, like Caribbean kind of elves. And
So like Balnab?
Balnath with
Balnab. I think it's Balnab.
Balnath.
Is it?
Wherever Waka
Where
is from.
Lulu and Waka are from. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of vibe.
Okay.
Should just name it Waka Land.
No, please.
Waka
Waka
Coast.
Waka. Waka Waka.
Waka Waka Coast.
No, we couldn't take it seriously. If you want the beach or a region of being the Waka Waka Coast, I have no problem with it. But that cannot be the region name.
Heckmanica.
Okay, fair enough. There is a Waka Waka Coast, though. I'm gonna make my character from there just to spite you. No, I'm kidding.
A perfect spite, my friend.
Yes. But let me think. Something.
Mm-hmm. If we want, we can come back to that.
Yeah, can we come back to that?
Sure.
But yeah. Fishing and diving elves.
Cool. Got it. What do you think,
And I'm
Claude? We got
gonna
any
figure-
idea?
Yeah, I'm working on something. Somebody said Vikings, but I don't think anybody claimed Vikings for their location.
No, we don't have
No.
pirates or Vikings here. Pirate Vikings do not exist. Yet.
I was thinking about putting in a little bit of lore to this area. I like these rivers.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Still coming up with a name, but I was thinking some, Viking-like folks live here. Probably battling. I imagine they might battle amongst themselves for the most part. But the reason they are here, other than just starting here, and the reason they're here and battling, is that there have been some ancient technology or technology from somewhere else. Here and in limited supply, and they like to use it to war.
Gotcha. So they're competing over it.
Yes.
Awesome.
I imagine they're not. It's not like Vikings with mechs, unless that's what we want. But I was thinking they kind of take it and make it into they take something that is good at exploding and it can explode multiple times, and they just make it into a weapon or something.
Gotcha. So they're kind of jury rigging it to do just outrageous things. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do I hear
maybe they're
redneck
just-
science?
Yeah, and maybe just to kind of fit that, like maybe they're like something like goblins or the like.
Sure.
Doesn't necessarily have to be goblins, but something with that kind of energy.
I like it.
So Goblin Vikings?
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay. Well, let's do one more round because we still got a lot of empty maps. So, anybody else got any ideas on another nation?
I got a name for the area.
Okay.
I will put it in the thing.
Okay. Yep. Mhm.
Gotta get the text box.
Lolavi.
Dilo Lavi.
Look at me now.
It's Haitian Creole
the
for
real
life
deal now.
water.
Looking at the real deal now.
Real deal.
Yes, D'Lo Brown. But
Okay.
okay. Oh. Who's up next? Any more ideas?
I have a really nice idea.
Okay.
I was thinking of this area over here. Main thought was
Okay.
the mountains have all the ore, so this is gonna be a mining village / town that supplies Mechanica, all the stuff it needs for all the steampunk stuff they make.
Okay. Gotcha.
There's also some mountains, I think, in between you and Delava as well.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but that would make it too easy.
I think that's a good, like, we will go into, like, after we finish this, we will be talking about, like, what conflicts have been happening or what major things have happened to led the world to this spot. So, like, what led to that? So it might be that, you know, Mechanica had maybe gone through and there had been a war where they tried to invade that region and that region might be oppressed, for example. I think there's good story to come out of it. What's it like culturally?
I would say it's a little bit more less less tech heavy and more like small villages spread out everywhere with like bunch of just small families that go out, have their fathers and sons mine for money. And it's
harsh
like
environments.
Yeah.
16 tons. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt.
Okay, you say that, and now I kind of like the idea of a like gold rush era, kind of like
That's
Oregon
what I was thinking.
or Colorado. Yeah. Frontiersman stuff. I like it. You just let me know when you got a name.
I will.
Sweet. Okay, who's next?
Okay. Yeah, I thought of this idea. I couldn't stop thinking about this particular idea during
Okay.
the break, but let's see. So like these island areas, right?
Ooh, yeah.
I was thinking that basically they are kind of divided, so the islands are kind of parts of different kind of continents and everything. But I wanted this to be basically the big area for like merfolk.
Ooh.
And basically I'm thinking that there's like two big groups, kingdoms of merfolk that are kind of warring with each other, and I think I'm kind of thinking that maybe the ones that are on the northern side, closer to like where Boss put his stuff, like I'm thinking that they like are more inclined to use that kind of technology versus these ones over here, which are more like non-tech.
So like the northern ones are more adaptable, and the southern ones are more like traditional conservative
yeah.
about their
And they just kind of go to war at each other.
And I'm gonna put the return of that massive typhoon, swirling tide between the two
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
that we had from the other campaign.
Sweet. So what are they warring over?
Basically in the past they were like, I'm thinking they were like one people, and then basically their kind of their cultures and stuff started splitting because of how their this just their locations and how like the other areas affected them, and they just kind of split, and it's just a big just war differences of culture now.
Would the typhoon have created that rift? Like that would be like where communication ended for a time and they started developing differently.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, I'd say the typhoon just like it appeared there and it separated them, and then they started, changing, being different, and then I would assume that like the typhoon, they like eventually people were able to like get around it, and then they started to figure out like why they don't believe like in your beliefs anymore or things like that, and then they started going to war with each other.
Cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah, if we're gonna have mermaids, we gotta have a place for sirens. So.
Awesome. Very, very cool.
Let me see. Trying to think of a name.
Yeah.
I would say, I guess it'd be like kind of two areas. You could have it's like the North and South Emerald Isles.
Sweet.
Gotta go fast.
Okay, let's see. So that's 2. I need 3 more.
What's the name of the typhoon?
Good question.
No idea.
Could it be something we figure out later?
Oops.
Let me see.
We shall name it Savannah.
No, I have a problem with that.
Okay.
Reminds me too much of Sylvanas.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, you don't want to know.
That's okay.
Okay.
This area that I circled on the very far right or east. Yokai, Japan.
Okay.
Spooky shit. I'll have to come up with a name.
Yeah, no problem.
Oops, I didn't mean to drop.
Yeah, I can do that. Glad, no problem. Uber Helgrind. I like that.
Forge Fire Ridge?
Yes.
Cool.
Forge Fire Ridge. Okay. I like that.
Yokai Jima, which is literally Yokai Island.
Should I say that one more time?
Yokai Jima, that's literally Yokai Island.
Cool. Well, that'll be fun. I like that. I like that a lot.
I think I want to do this chunk up here.
Okay.
This is where people that are attuned more to nature over tech live.
Okay.
So more your druids and your shamans and
I
Is
have
this
an
where,
idea for
like,
that.
the
Huh?
arcanists like originated from?
yeah,
No, I was-
arcanists.
Oh yeah, I was thinking like Mechanica and this place are in a war
Oh yeah.
because they're very different.
Mm-hmm. But I still don't have a name yet.
Give me some more cultural stuff.
Druids, shamans, arcanists, very nature oriented, small farm, living off the land, like living off the land but paying tribute to the land and taking care of it. Like very environmental.
Very hippie witchy.
Hippie witchy, yeah, there you go.
Gotcha. Got it.
Like kitchen witch. Or like a green witch.
No, that's Hearth Witch.
Hearth witch, yeah, you're right, hearth witch.
Hearth Witchy. I like it. All right.
I had a couple that kind of go next to each other.
Okay.
These mountains and these forests around this area.
Mhm.
I was thinking that the mountains might have some, floating islands intermixed, maybe even just ones that float over the forest as well, inhabited by harpies, flying beast folk. Meanwhile, the forests would be probably, maybe further up north, more temperate ones, but kind of south. The different kind of trees would be jungles, and those would be other kinds of beast folk, and they're probably, I don't know if they get along. Maybe they sort of get along. Maybe they have some disagreements, but I was thinking maybe they're particularly druid-like, maybe, or they just kind of very, very much holders of natural magic.
Gotcha. Cool. I like it a lot.
Maybe
Yeah,
something
just let me know when
simple,
you.
just like untamed lands or something.
Ooh, I like the Timberlands. Okay. I think that just leaves Core's name for her region, and that takes care of it all.
You'll have to get back to me a little bit.
No problem. I think we got a little time before break.
What'd you call that area again? The Untamed Lands?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me see.
So we already have a few historical events that have happened, like with the typhoon appearing. But what other events would you guys think have happened? Like what kind of big things that would have been like either regionally or like worldwide noticeable? Like you mentioned earlier, boss, with the Mechanica and Forgefire Ridge. How did that develop? Like, what's going on with that?
My thought was there is big veins of copper, iron, and say if it's there, fire crystals to help with the steam, water crystals, that type of stuff.
Hmm.
The stuff that makes the Steam and Mechanica actually run and function.
Okay. So is this like a open trading between them, or is this something that Mechanica went to war over, or what's going on there?
I'm thinking it's something they went. They're two different areas, and they have like a trading deal. Mechanica gives the Ridge like some steampunk stuff, while Ridge gives them all the copper and gems and stuff.
Okay.
Is it equitable?
What does that mean?
Like, is it an equal
is one of them
trade
getting
or
better deal than the other?
Yeah.
I would say it would be an equal trade, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I
Any other
might
major
have
things
an-
Okay.
They're walled.
The what?
They're walled.
They're walled?
DER space WALD. It literally
Got it.
just means the woods in German.
No problem. Got it. Typhoon separated the merfolk. Forgefire found big veins of materials that have spurned on Mechanica's technological advancements. What else? I'd like to get like one or two more.
Yeah, you know what? There was a starfall.
Starfall. Where would Star have fallen?
Right there. Somewhere in
Awesome.
that area, because it's completely empty, so let's just do there.
Sounds great.
Literally just call it Starfall.
Gotcha. Anything that's, if we want to keep that like a big mystery, is there anything that people would have heard about it?
Monsters are coming out of it. It
Gotcha.
fell, and they don't know exactly why there's monsters coming out of it, but now there's monsters coming out of it. It's
That's a
semi-recent.
great mystery. Awesome. Perfect. Anyone else? Are we feeling comfortable? I wouldn't mind another event or another like mystery about the world. We haven't really talked about the elementals yet.
What about a big rain?
Like a
A
flood.
big rain?
Big ring in the sky?
Like a rain, like a big torrent of rain that forever happens down here in these waters. This area that we have empty.
Oh,
Forever rain.
Forever rain.
I like. Is it recent or has it been like that for a long time?
It's been like that for a long time.
Gotcha. I like it.
This idea is a little bit more local, but maybe there's rumors that the Viking clans have some visitors that have been perhaps escalating fights.
Ooh. It's like an outside is like driving
Outside
up conflict
influence.
between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are those other southern icy areas that is right beside it.
Mm-hmm.
The torrent. I like it.
might be from something from there. It might be something happening from the torrents. We'll leave that a mystery. Again, we don't have to fill in the entire map just yet.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts, or are we feeling pretty good about things?
Okay.
Well, there
I
is
like how
this
fun it
one
is.
big area over here.
We can leave it.
Yeah, that's true. We could leave that for another time.
It could just be Uncharted.
Uncharted.
Big
yeah.
explosion.
Core, why don't you go ahead and put a circle around that and name it the Uncharted?
The Uncharted? Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Maybe there should be like mountains. Like I know it's not fully on this map, but make mountains that kind of like go around the entire area. So like we can't do it for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll draw some in.
Oh, that could be where the elementals are quote unquote hiding.
Maybe.
Mhm. Got it. Okay. Then let me look something up real quick.
Sorry, those are mountains.
So, finally, what is upsetting the balance of the world? What is the threats?
What if the torrent and the typhoon are relatively recent? And
Well, the
like,
torrent's so the torrent is old. The typhoon is recent.
okay.
Or no, sorry, Starfall was recent. So
Yeah.
and we know the torrent is old. That's already been established. So
Oh, okay. Okay. So what if something more to do with that meteor following and the monsters coming out? Like that could be like the world-ending threat where the villain comes from.
Possibly.
I don't know. I was. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if monsters are coming out of Starfall, then that would be a pretty concerning to Fire Canyon, Dragon's Head, and
Yeah.
possibly even South Emerald Isles.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking because all these kind of weird like weather, like disaster things happening. I wanted to, as people research through history about these, that it all links to the Uncharted area, and nobody's gone there yet.
Maybe. I mean, Starfall though is extraterrestrial, so.
Okay, maybe then not Starfall, but a lot of these world like kind of weird like phenomenons and disasters are getting linked to the Uncharted area.
I'd kind of like to leave it completely unknown, personally. I want the mystique, personally. But that's just me.
Like maybe it's like our specific group of people want to go there because nobody's thought to look there for the reason. I don't know.
I think we will leave the source of the weather's disasters as a big question mark for the time being.
Okay.
I think that's a good overhanging mystery. While the Starfall is like a really good immediate like concerning threat, there are other like ecological things that are happening that people aren't able to really breach at the moment. So I think that's a good immediate concern and pending concern. That being said, I think that's good because we have some wild stuff happening with the Untamed Lands in Yokai Jima. We have something antagonizing the Vikings. We have a lot of the Western nations concerned with what's happening with Starfall. I think there's a good amount of like national drama and danger happening there.
Okay.
Shog, how are we doing on time?
I think it'd be a good time to run ads. before we get into anything else. So.
Okay. I mean, next will be like doing characters and stuff. So yeah, let's go ahead and do ads. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back in 5.
Okay.
I
Alright, we're back.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. We're about to get ready to get to the meat of this.
Ooh, meat. Hungry.
So now that we have made this world, we get to decide how you guys want to interact with it. So we get to talk about group creation. So this is like the basic backstory of why you're together and how you want to explore it. So there's 5 different options. There is brought together by fate. So you working together because the circumstances led up to it. So it is. We'll start thinking about like what kind of like bonds might draw you to each other, or what has led to the world for you guys actually to work together. There's one called the Guardians, which a person is quote unquote the chosen one and has a group protecting them, which can be a little imbalancing, but depending on how people want to play it, completely viable. You can think of a Yuna from 10. There's Heroes of the Resistance, which I don't think this is going to be one that's too relative, considering we're kind of moved away from any kind of like major imperial power trying to take over. So I think that and the revolutionaries are kind of, they're available, but I'm not sure if thematically they work.
Yeah.
And there's Seekers, which are a group that's been brought together to try and find someone or something and to solve mystery.
I'm leaning towards the Fated. Or everything that we've talked about.
Okay. Anyone else have any thoughts?
I mean, yeah, I think I'm be leaning towards just just fate, just happenstance that they got into a group.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm with
Fate or
fate.
Seekers.
Okay.
Red
Yeah.
button. I do like Fate.
So faded with a touch of Seekers is what I've heard from everyone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm the one who said Seekers, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's important because, like, if we have a little bit interested in it, then that might be something that's, applicable. It might be something that a lot of people have been brought together by fate and ends up being that you're drawn into the seeker role. So it might not be what you originally do, but it kind of might be where things develop, or it might be where the mystery goes. So I think that's good. Like, having that measurement, that barometer, does give me an idea of where things should go, story-wise. And then we get to make your characters. So, who would like to go first?
I have an idea.
Thank God someone actually speaks up, because no one speaks up last every time we run.
Talk to me, boss. What are you thinking?
Well, I was thinking of like someone from Arcane Mechanica. I'm gonna stick with the human thing because that's the one I know the most. Someone who lives in the forest and who is a hunter. And I was thinking of using all the steampunk things for my weapons, and use
Okay.
like steam for shooting a musket or something for hunting.
So I'm gonna take it back a step and ask you a few questions so that we can like get that defined. So your origin is Arcane Mechanica. We know that for sure. That's your home.
Yeah.
Your theme. So this would be like the single, like it'd be the one word that would describe your actions. Like if somebody's driven by revenge, or if someone's driven by hope, or that kind of thing. So like, what's the strong single word motivation that would like define your character?
Peace.
Peace. So you're looking for peace. Okay. And then your identity. So this would be like 2 to 4 words that would be like a descriptor. So like disgraced princess or merchant queen, that kind of thing. So like 2 to 4 words. Yeah, and Cloud has a very good reminder that races, ancestries, / species are all purely cosmetic. You get to decide how you look. That doesn't mean it's going to alter how you play. It's more just like how you want to be versus like the game forcing you to do a specific thing.
I just wanted a starting point for my idea.
Yeah.
Is there any
No
list,
problem, yeah.
Or is there any list or anything that exists, please?
Or what we're talking about right now?
Yeah, like, do you have anything about classes?
Classes will come after we've done a few steps.
Okay.
And yes, I do have a lot of classes and stuff that you guys can see.
Because I kind of need to work on both of them at
You
the
get to
same
that
time.
first?
Usually,
Yeah.
I like to see both of them. If you have a link to both, that would be great. I can go through it.
It's actually, if you want to go to the compendium in Foundry, there is character creation and classes, which will bring up all the classes, and clicking on them will give the actual, like, wiki-style explanation of everything.
Oh god, okay, there's a fuck ton. Alright, let me look through these.
So, since we're talking about classes, I'll briefly explain something important. Classes are single concepts. So, like, a rogue is going to be sneaky. They're going to want to rob people and be like acrobatic, but that doesn't really just say how they are sneaky. It doesn't say what weapons they do or anything else. That would be a combination of something else. So, if you wanted to be a rogue sharpshooter and be like real sneaky, shoot people from behind, shoot them in the back, you could. Or you could be weapon master and do that kind of thing, or more pugilist style. Like, combining the classes is where the real beauty of the system comes from, because you are required to have at least 2, up to 3.
Is there a list for races as well?
The races do not matter. So there is a stat array we use. So it'd be like for how big the dice you want for starting out is, and then you grab your classes, and then like as far as races go, that's just how you want to be.
Yeah, but is there like a list for this universe of different races is what I'm asking. I don't care about stats. Then I have no idea where I'll start. Okay.
I think it's just what we mentioned so far.
Yeah,
Right.
so I mean, there would be...
We have the mermaids. We've got the elvish kind of people. We've got the untamed lands. We've got the yokai. So like we've got some like we've gone through as we were building the nations and made a few like of the major races then, because we now have some like actual like culture that's come out of it, the concept of the race. But there's anytime where we're talking about like a game defining thing, there's freedom in what the person would like to make. So if you would like to think of this in like Pathfinder terms, and you want to be like thinking of like you want to make a goblin-like character, perfectly fine. We'll go down that route.
Yeah, I just wanted a list of races is all.
Unfortunately, no. We're kind of making it up together as we go, so there's no concrete list yet.
Let me see.
Back to boss. I need your 2 to 4 words on your identity.
I was thinking lonesome woodsman.
I like that. I like that a lot. Now, do you want to go through the whole process, or do you want to kind of like bounce around and see what other people are thinking too?
Let's bounce around.
Okay.
Unless nobody else has an idea.
I have an idea.
Okay, give me just a second. Let's flip the page. Of course, talk to me.
I want to make someone that is... what is the first thing I need to tell you?
I need your origin. Where are they from?
Okay, she's from Durwald.
Okay.
And...
Themes. This would be like the one-word theme with them.
Theme. Recognition.
Okay, and then their identity would be 2 to 4 words describing it.
Let's see. Magic princess.
Okay. And that would be your start. Okay. Next.
Okay.
No, Go ahead.
Um, Yeah. Well, I think my character is gonna be like an orc from Fire Canyon.
Okay.
I think it's going to be like I haven't named the tribes or anything yet, but basically he would be from one of the largest tribes of orcs in the Fire Canyon, and
Okay.
basically he would be his whole thing, at least leaving, was basically to make a name for himself and bring honor to come back and then eventually lead that tribe.
So what would be the one word that you would say would be his like description? Like, what would be like? Is he like focused on like conquest then, or would it be more about like what Core said, like recognition, or what do you think? it
Yeah,
means?
just honor, like honorable, like honor. Yeah.
Works. Oh, great. Okay, and then your identity.
Let me see. Was it? It was supposed to be like. Was it 2 words or what was it?
2 up to 4.
Can I quickly
Mhm.
add a word to mine?
Yes.
Runaway magic princess.
Okay. Gotcha.
I think. Let's see. I think aspiring fire monk. I think.
That works. Okay. I think Shog is going through and trying to build up some ideas and stuff. Do you have any ideas, Bob?
I do. It's a weird one.
That's it.
So, trying to condense this down, but effectively, almost like a entity, some kind of messenger herald of a failed calamity, something that never came to pass,
Okay.
and has decided that without that purpose to join the party.
Okay. So, what would be their origin then? Where do they come from? Like, and this can be obscure if you want. It could be something that we haven't even created yet in the game. So,
I had a couple ideas of where, but I almost want to I almost want to say it's mysterious.
okay. Just send me a message then with what you want. You don't have to say it out loud then.
I might want to change my word.
Okay.
I'm going to change the word to freedom. Rather than recognition.
Okay.
That makes more sense for the idea I have in my head.
Sounds good. What's up, boss?
I was coughing.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like you had an idea. But okay.
I'm just thinking of how I can make, because I want to stick with a cute theme. I gotta try to think of a way to make this guy cute.
I'd play a
Thinking-
halfling. Well, you're playing.
I
him
was
in.
I was thinking of skittish.
Oh, make him skittish?
Yeah.
That's cute.
That would be cute.
Skittish, lonesome woodsman.
I can alter that adjective in there, yeah.
Cool.
Cloud is getting back to me. How you feeling, Shock?
I have no idea. I cannot do this. I'm sorry. I can't do this on the fly.
Okay. That's perfectly okay. Back to you. But yeah, if you're not comfortable doing it on the fly, then I'm not gonna pressure you at all. What I will do then is that once we're done here, I'll spend some time making like a information post to say like what races and things that are going on that you would know about to help give you that launching point that you can work on here on your own.
Okay. Yeah, if we can get an idea of what everyone's going to be, that would be better, so I can try to fill.
Okay, that sounds good. Cloud is getting back to me then. Vault. Let's talk classes, my dude. I believe that is next on our creation. So, you get to choose 2 or 3 classes that you want to use. And there is a list of them, but you've been describing things kind of already that you're kind of feeling. So talk me through your character a bit, and I'll start like giving you some classes that might work well. If you're talking, you're muted.
Oh, I had for classes in mind. Sorry, pulling them up to remind myself. I was thinking about going with a combination of entropist, and if you allow me to pull from the techno fantasy book, a bit of Esper for that kind of alien feel.
I like it. Entropist Esper. Okay. We will build through specifics through the week, but I want to get an idea of what people are thinking for a class. So, Entropist Esper. Okay. Boss. Do you see the classes list?
Where is it?
It's in the compendium packs. So I'll you know what? Since we're talking about this and we're kind of going through this all together for the first time, I'll run through them, You stop me if it sounds like something you want to do. So we have the Ace of Cards, which is going to be a person that uses chance, high rolling using cards. There are Arcanists, which are the ones that are able to commune with spirits and entities. There are Chanters, who are like bards and idols and troubadours. There are Chimerists, who are able to transform themselves into other things or use bestial powers. There's the Commander, which is very much what it sounds like. They are leaders. They're like actual like princes, queens, shoguns. They are the idea of someone who's got a lot of authority. There are Dancers, which are acrobats, jesters, swashbucklers. They're very athletic. There's the Dark Blade, which is kind of like Black Knights and Dark Knights and Death Knights. They're the ones that are able to use their own life as a way to harm things or become more powerful when they're injured. Elementalists, which are going to be your traditional mage-like class. They're able to use different versions of magic. Entropists, which is one that Cloud is using, which is like chaos magic and astronomy. So they are able to use like the concept of entropy and absorption and destruction and stealing time and things like that, where it's very much about the entropy and end of things eventually. The cold between the stars is what the quote is. There's Esper, which again Cloud is planning, which is kind of like the empath and the scion, soul hacker. They're able to use thoughts and peace and emotion. There are florists, who are basically like gardeners and herbalists. They're able to use chloromancy and use Tree of Life. They are very much nature oriented. There's the Furies, which are the barbarian monk Vikings. These guys are the people that are able to get into a fight, stay in a fight, and do some pretty crazy stuff like provoking things or withstanding additional damage or frenzying to do additional attacks, that kind of thing. There is the Gourmand, which is a chef or brewer. They are able to do and have an entire cooking book that they're able to use, and they're able to combine spices in different ways for unique effects. There is the Guardian, which is a very defensive, tanky style character that the Paladin, Soldiers, Yojimbo. They have bodyguard systems, they can do double shields, they can protect people, and they have counterattacks. There's the Invoker, which are the ones that are able to basically take magic from around them. Yeah, that's basically it. So, wish not for control, but for understanding. They're able to channel magic. They are the Onmyoji, if you're thinking Japanese folklore. They are the talkers, the ones that speak with spirits. There's lore masters, which are basically like, you're a nerd, you're a librarian, you really like knowledge. You can use that to learn about the things you're fighting or about the world itself. There are merchants, which are able to have like a lot of like good, strong connections between different people. They're less about making sure that you have like all the money in the world, but they do get more inventory points to be transparent, but also about having like really good connections between different peoples and using that network of influence. There's the mutant. So the mutants are like abominations or lycanthropes. They are like people that are able to transform in different ways. They're able to alter themselves in like strange, weird ways. There's the necromancer, which is a necromancer. They are able to reanimate the dead or use blood to their advantage. There's the orator, who is like ambassador, diplomats. They're the ones that are really smooth talking. There's pilots, which pilots are exactly that. These guys are like bikers or mech pirates or sky pirates. These guys are doing the heavy machinery in a way that is really out there compared to others. Rogue I briefly talked about. They're the ones that are able to do like cheap shots, move at high speeds, steal from people, things like that, where they're able to, they're sneaky. They're ruthless. Sharpshooter, which is going to be your range like expert. They're the ones that are able to use archery, or they're gunslingers. They could even be snipers. Lots of different ways to use your ranged attacks. There is spiritists, who are like your traditional healer, priests, or witches. They have different spiritual magic and healing powers that they can invoke, support magic, that kind of thing. Symbolists, who are people that use calligraphers or painters or rune makers. They're the ones where they draw power directly from magic symbols and are able to, depending on how you build, you can do different channeling, different symbology magic, or you can create mirages and mirror images of other things. There's Tinkerer, which are your inventors. They are the alchemists and mechanics and engineers. They get more inventory points, but they also get something unique called projects, where they are able to make giant scale creations. They are your crafters. There's the Wayfarer, who's like the generic adventurer. They're really good at being resourceful, getting information from taverns, pretty good at treasure hunting, might have a faithful companion that runs around with them. Very traditional idea of this like vagabond. And finally, your weapon master, which I apologize, I said counterattack was part of Guardian. It's not part of weapon master. Weapon masters are your Ronin, your warriors, your fighters. These guys are the ones that are, their lives are about weapons and using them to the best ability they can. And that's it. So did any of them jump out at you?
Sharpshooter.
Sharpshooter, okay.
It is
I'll leave it.
perfect for the idea of the character I'm creating.
I need at least one more.
Sharpshooter and weapons master.
Sharpshooter, weapons master, okay. Let me double check something with weapons master real quick. So I will let you know that weapon master is focused on melee weapons. While sharpshooter is focused on ranged weapons. There's a little bit of conflict there, but if you're okay with that, then you're okay with that.
Probably, I'm more into sharpshooter,
Okay.
but I am gonna have to go through everything else.
Okay, so do you see them being really good in the wild, like adventuring, or are they taking care of their own equipment by tinkering, or are they like really good with animals or nature? Like, what are you thinking?
In my mind, I could go with sharpshooter and chimeras, because I'm more of because I'm a woodsman and I'm out hunting a lot.
I like that. So you like using bestial abilities as well as your bow and arrows, so it's kind of like you're living off the land.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's do it.
That sounds cool.
Very cool.
With chimeras, I was more interested in gathering their powers from the souls.
Yeah. We can flavor it however you want. So if you want to do it from the souls, we will do it from the souls.
Because am I correct in stating that even every blade of grass has a soul?
It could be stated.
Okay,
Whether that is true or not, we'd have to play the game.
right.
But what are you thinking as far as the classes that for?
For me,
Yes.
I'm leaning towards spiritist.
Okay.
But like a witch.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I also want her to be sneaky. Like, not necessarily like pickpocketing and things like that. Just like kind of roguelike, I would say.
So Okay, so talk to me about what you mean by that, because rogue mechanically has dodge, high speed, cheap shot, steal things, um, see you later, where you can like remove yourself from a scene, but like running away. So like,
Yeah,
what do
that's
you exactly mean by roguish?
like definitely that see you later thing. And
Okay.
well, the character I'm making, she's in hiding. So
Okay.
like I want her to be good at hiding who she is more than if you see her or not, if that makes sense.
So you don't want rogue then?
Okay. So it would be more like Chimerist, or Chanter.
So probably not Chanter, because they're wanting attention.
Oh, okay.
You might want something that is maybe Orator, where you're able to like talk your way out of things, or stay on the down low if you want to, like vocally. Because you're talking about like, you're basically telling me that you're like more about making sure that you're able to keep a low profile without actually doing like nefarious things.
Yes.
Okay. Let me look real quick. While I'm looking for that and see if there's anything that fits, give me a third class that you're thinking.
I was also thinking that she would be a florist.
Okay.
Or I guess it's
Yeah.
floralist.
Florist. So I'm gonna put down spiritualist, floralist, and possibly order. I'm gonna look a little more into to see if there's anything that would better fit that.
Okay.
But in the meantime, that's what I have. Majora, or sorry, excuse me, Yako.
Okay, I was thinking of doing Fury, Weapon Master, and Elementalist.
Oh.
So yeah, so I was thinking basically fighter kind of, but like monk style, but like fighter weapon master. So he would be using like maybe tonfas, and then also using the element of fire to kind of enhance his abilities, and like use some like other like minor like fire spells, but like using fire as like a as enhancement to his fighting style.
I mean, Elementalist itself has an ability called Spellblade, where whenever you use an offensive spell targeting a single creature, if the spell has a low cost and you're using a weapon, you can choose that weapon and add its damage to the attack. So it'll allow you to be able to, it's very much like Magus in Pathfinder, to where you can do like a flaming strike with it.
Okay.
So yeah, that's very much in line with what we've got here. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. But that's kind of what I'm going for right now.
Okay. So, all right. So we've got a witch. We've got our sharpshooter woodsman. We have our fury monk weapon master, and we have our Enterpus Esper. Kind of like, how would you describe him? Like a chaos mage or scion, or what would you call it?
I think a chaos mage fits.
Chaos mage. Okay, so we've got 2 mages, a ranged, and a mage melee. I like it so far. And one of the reasons I'm saying this and just kind of like summarizing is so that Shaw can hear it and can be considering she wants to hear what everyone else is doing first.
I'll go healer.
You want to go healer as well?
Yeah, I don't think anybody else has gone healer.
Core has. She has done
Oh,
both.
okay.
Healing.
Never mind. Then I don't know.
Yeah, she went. Spiritualist and Florist, which both have a
Oh,
lot
okay.
of healing.
Never mind.
I would say that there's no defensive class. There's no real buffing the party at the moment, but again, that's something that can be built into later. Yeah, no Guardian, no heavy armor.
Yeah, I've already playing Dusk, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be something to feel out then. You have other ideas if the party ends up missing roles, don't feel pressured to think. Yeah.
Shug, if you have an idea for a healer, I can always change mine.
No, it's fine. I'm already playing Hazel as a healer. I was gonna take it because I thought no one else was taking it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What other ideas do you have, Bud?
Other ideas I had were like almost like a shifter barbarian type, and I could definitely build them into, take as many hits as possible.
Gotcha.
Bear tank.
Let's see. I guess other than that, I had like maybe something that includes dancer in mind, but so did somebody already pick dancer, or am I confusing that
No.
with orator?
You're confusing it with orator, which orator is kind of maybe at this point, but no, there's no dancer.
I could do some kind of dancer and then work a tank into that somehow, like a dex tank or something.
You could do.
Oh, you bastard!
The swashbuckler tank.
Excuse me?
Sorry, my cat just bit the shit out of me.
Oh.
I had a feeling it was that.
Okay. Alright. The last thing I'll ask of people tonight is their attributes. So I'm gonna go down to that real quick. So there are 3 different arrays you can do. So there's 4 stats, 3 arrays, which you get to choose how you want to do it. So there's the Jack of all trades, which gives you a D8 in everything. There's the average, which gives you a D10, 2D8, and a D6. Or there's specialized, which is 2D10, 2D6. Either way, it all averages out to be the same.
I think I think deciding what dice might be good to do after deciding like maybe what skills end up being taken.
That's right. I think that's a good point. I think that'll be something I'll do one-on-one with people off screen. Yeah, I think that puts us at a good ending point then, because we've got everything done besides the class conversation. So yeah, I think we're in a good spot. How are people feeling?
Did we choose themes?
Yes, I had asked for themes at the start. I think you were the only one that did not give me themes.
Yeah, apologies.
No worries, no worries. I think we started talking about origin, and you said you wanted to keep the origin part secret, and I think we just ended up on classes for some reason.
Yes, okay.
So yeah, theme and identity. So
I guess my theme would, with this current character, assuming I don't change things, would probably be doubt.
okay. In their identity, which was I think was you mentioned it, now I've forgotten it. what your identity was, your couple words description.
Yes. Yeah, I think I gave a vague description rather than a short identity. I think just entity of destruction, entity of ruin. Yeah, let's say entity of destruction. We'll go edgy with it.
Cool. I think that would complete us for now then. You just let me know your origin when you're ready, Cloud, and I will work with Chog to get her character built, and I'll work with everyone here in the next week just to get the last specifics down and get everyone on the same page, and we will have our first game on July 6th, if everyone's okay with that.
Oh, hi Raiders. Sorry we didn't shout out.
Bye.
Hey, Raiders.
Hey. Got really into it.
Yeah. 6 works for me.
I'm good with that too.
Okay.
6 p.m. or what was it?
July 6th, same time, so
6:30.
6:30 your time, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
All right then. And I don't think there's anything else for me to talk about tonight. Thank you so much. I hope people are excited.
Yeah.
So excited.
I can't wait.
Awesome. All right then. I will go ahead and do a good night, everyone. Thank you all very much for coming out and doing this big experiment with me. We're gonna have a lot of fun, I think. And I will see you all in a week and a half.
Yep. See you then.
Yay.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.